and welcome to Tulalian Math Ethics. In this lesson, we will learn the three important math concepts called the mean, the median, and the mode. Math often deals with data set. Data set are just collection or groups of numbers. Those numbers are result of scientific measurement, surveys, or other data collection methods. For example, you might record ages of each member of your family into a data set. Or you might measure the weight of each of your pets and list them into a data set. Those data sets are fairly small and easy to understand, and you can have much bigger data sets. A really big data set must contain the cost of every item in a store, or a top speed of every land meal, or a brightest star in the galaxy. Those data sets are containing a lot of different numbers. If you look at a big set of all at one time, you're pretty hard to sense of it, or much say about it. Besides, that's a lot of numbers. So let's learn with each property and find out how to calculate them in any particular data set. Let's start with the mean. Have you ever heard something about the mean before? Or have you heard about the word average? If so, I have a good news for you. Mean means average. Mean and average are just two different terms but have the same exact properties in the data set. The mean or average is the extreme useful property. To understand what it is, let's learn about the mean.
Let's look a simple data set that contains 5 numbers 1, 8, 3, 2, and 6. There are a lot of ways to solve the mean. This time, we will use the mathematical procedure to solve the mean. That procedure involves clever addition and division. There are ways to find the mean. First, add up all the numbers. 1 plus 8 plus 3 plus 2 plus 6, and it shows our total of 20. Second, count the number of items in a set. There are 5 numbers in a set. Third, divide the number you calculated in step 1 by the number you found in step 2. So, 20 divided by 5 is equal to 4. 4 now is what we call the mean. Let's use the procedure to find the mean age of the members of this fine looking hair. If we add them all up using calculator, or hand if you like, the total of the ages is 222 years. But then, we need to divide the total by the numbers of ages we added, which is 6. So, 222 divided by 6 is 37. So that 37 is the mean age of all the members of this family. Alright, that's the mean. Now, what about the median? The median is the middle of the dataset. It's the number that splits the dataset into two equally sized groups or halves. One half contains the members that is greater than or equal to the median, and the other half contains members that is less than or equal to the median. Sometimes finding median of the dataset is easy, and sometimes it's hard. That's because finding the middle value of the dataset requires that its member be in order from the least to the greatest or vice versa. And if the dataset has a lot of numbers, it might take a lot of work to make it in the right order. If you didn't know already in that way. To make things easier, let's start with a really basic dataset that is in order. Let's look at the example. From the dataset 2, 1, 3. The first thing we do, arrange the dataset in order from least to greatest. From 2, 1, 3, we have 1, 2, and 3. And finding the median or middle of this dataset is easy. It's just 2, because 2 is located exactly in the middle. That all seems too easy, doesn't it? But don't worry, it's get harder. But before we will try harder problem, I want to point out that sometimes the mean and the median of the dataset are the same number, but sometimes are not. In the case of our simple dataset, 1, 2, and 3, the median is 2 and the mean is 2. What about the first dataset that we found the mean? We determined that the mean is 4. What about the median? Well, the median is in the middle, and since in this dataset the median is 3. To find the median of the dataset, first you need to make sure that all the numbers are in order, and then you can identify the member that exactly in the middle by making sure that there is an equal number of members on either side of it. Okay, so far so good. But some are wondering, what if the dataset doesn't have an obvious middle member? All the dataset we tried so far had odd number of members. What if the dataset has an even number of members? Like the dataset 1, 2, 3, and 4, there isn't member that is in a middle that split the set into 2 equally parts or groups. If that's the case, we can actually use what we learned about the mean to help us out. If the dataset has even number of members, and to find the median, we need to take the 2 middle members and calculate the mean or average of those 2. By doing that, we basically figure out what number will be exactly in the middle, and that number is our median. For example, in the dataset 1, 2, 3, and 4, we need to take the 2 middle numbers 2 and 3 and find the mean of those numbers. We can do that by adding 2 and 3 and divide it by 2. So 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, and 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. So the median of the dataset is 2.5. Since we already learned about mean and median, now how about the mode of the dataset? Mode is just a technical word for the value in the set that it occurs most often. In the dataset we've seen so far has no mode because none of the data values were ever repeated. What if you have this dataset? This set has 6 members, but some of the values are repeated. If we arrange them, you can see that there is 1 ones, 2 twos, and 3 threes. Most often or most frequently, so that would be 3. So the mode now is 3. As I mentioned, if the members of the dataset appears once, so it has no mode. There are also instances that the dataset has more than one mode. For example, in this dataset, the number 7 is repeated twice and also the number 15. That means they are tied for the title of mode. This set has two mode, 7 and 15. Let's try if you learn about our topic. Find the mean, median, and mode of this dataset. 1, 5, 7, 3, 5, 3, 2, 2, and 5. The mean is 33. The median is 3. And the mode is 5. Well, thank you for listening and watching. Goodbye.